So I'm about to ride what I'm going to call Amtrak's Disney World Express. This morning we're embarking on an incredible rail journey from Boston to Orlando. We'll be traveling down the East Coast with Amtrak on this magnificent sleeper train. Get ready to join me as I take you behind the scenes and show you what it's like to live on board Amtrak for 28 hours. With first-class accommodations, delicious food, and even an onboard shower, you won't believe the level of comfort on this train. If you're looking to do a trip to Disney World, and you don't want to deal with the hustle and bustle of I-95 traffic, and you don't want to deal with the craziness of the airports, I think you'll enjoy this experience much better. Worried about the high price tag? Well, this trip actually costs less than a day at the Disney parks. More on that later. All aboard as we embark on this magical journey. Yo, my name's Jeff, and I believe the journey is half the fun. Good morning, friends. Not even 6 a.m. here at South Station in Boston, but I am super excited because we're going on another epic train journey. I'm going to be taking Amtrak all the way from here to Orlando. So we're going to be doing the Acela in business class from Boston to New York, and then I'm going to be doing New York to Orlando, just about 24 hours in a sleeper car, so that should be a lot of fun.
This is a boarding call for Amtrak Acela train 2153 en route to Washington.
And that's my train. I'm not going to lie, I didn't get too much sleep last night, so I'm probably going to take it easy for the first part of the trip. But the most epic part anyway is going to be that sleeper in the Roomette all the way from New York to Orlando. So let's get to New York. Soon we would reach nearly 150 miles an hour, the fastest of any train currently operating in the US. For the best views on the Acela, especially through coastal areas in Connecticut, I would recommend the A seats southbound like today, and the F seats if you're headed northbound. If you want to see what first class is like on the Acela, I have a video from that where I was the only passenger in first class for the entire ride from Boston to New York. I'll link that one below. I decided to check out the cafe car and see what they had for breakfast. Yeah, Diet Coke would be great, thank you. These omelet cups are actually quite good, and I'm one of those weird people who doesn't drink coffee.
Our next station stop in approximately 45 to 50 minutes, New York City's Penn Station, Moynihan train hall.
A little fresh air in New York City real quick before we head to Orlando. Good morning, you're joining me from Moynihan Train Hall at Penn Station, New York City, where I have just arrived on America's fastest train, the Amtrak Acela. Now that's not the most exciting part of today's journey because I'm headed to the most magical place on earth. That's right, Disney's Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. And this train actually goes all the way to Miami, but we're gonna check out Disney World and the Christmas lights. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's something I haven't done in quite some time. Now this adventure is going to be particularly exciting because I've never ridden on an Amtrak Viewliner before, only their Superliner trains out west. So we'll be doing the Roomette today, and hopefully it's one of the new ones because they look really cool. And since I'm in a sleeper cabin, I can use the Amtrak Metropolitan lounge. So let's go check that out. This gives you an idea of whether or not you'd be eligible to enter the lounge when traveling with Amtrak, and if not, you can also purchase a day pass. Wow, you know, I've been to a few Amtrak lounges, but none of them have looked like this. This is right up there with like a high-class airport lounge. It looks like our train is running on time, but I still had about 45 minutes to relax in the lounge. There's plenty of food and drinks on offer with great views overlooking the train hall. There are adult beverages for sale as well, but it was a bit too early for that. So I've gone ahead and got myself a nice chocolate croissant to start the day. And they've got some knockoff Diet Coke here, so hopefully it's pretty good. We'll see. Now we're being escorted over to the train. Now typically if you do ride in a sleeper and you're in the lounge off one of these long distance trains, they will call you specifically up and get you an escort to the rail, so that's really great. Thank you. So we got a diner car. And this is me, 9110 sleeping car. All right, welcome aboard the Amtrak Silver Star. We're in the Roomette today. Unfortunately, it's one of the older style ones, but it's plenty spacious. It's got a taller ceiling than what I'm used to, and we're gonna have a great time. So we'll have a look around later, check out all the experiences on board, and enjoy some relaxation and plenty of beautiful scenery along the way.
Hello, lunch reservations.
Sure.
We have 12:30 or 1:30.
I'll do 12:30.
All right, I'll see you then. It's gonna be one car this way, okay?
Awesome. I have a lunch reservation in the dining car at 12:30. That's in about 15 minutes from now. So I'll give you a quick little tour of the Roomette here on the Viewliner. Now, one of the interesting features that's different than the Superliner trains is that this Roomette has a sink and a toilet in it. Now, if you get one of the new purple themed renovated Roomettes, then that won't have the toilet, but it still has the sink in here. And of course, there's some washcloths here. Now, there's still a shower in here as well, but there's no individual toilet in this car. You'd have to go to, I guess, the lounge car or the cafe car to use one. We've got a nice big mirror here with a light overhead. Of course, plenty of privacy here, and you can lock the door. So the sink is kind of unique, and you'll notice that there's a red light here. So I guess if you're climbing up to the top bunk, it's a nice little alert at night not to step in the sink. So the interesting feature here is that the water drains when you put the sink back. So you just fill it up with water here, and there it goes. Now, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of having a toilet in the Roomette. Tell me what you think. Do you prefer toilet in the Roomette, yes or no? Now, in the very top, you have a nice big bin, which should fit a large suitcase, which I did bring with me. There's no luggage rack on this train like in some of the others. Another improved feature is you have not one, but two AC power outlets in the Roomette. If you're riding on the Superliner train, there's just one, so it might be a good idea to bring a power adapter. On the top of both seats, you have some controls for the speaker volume. And then we've got this really bright light behind you here. And of course, the ceiling lights you can control from here as well. So you can make it as bright or as dark as you want it to be. We've also got extra windows, so if you're in the top bunk, you can get a great view, which I don't believe is the case in the Superliner, but I haven't ridden the top bunk yet. Maybe I'll try that tonight. And here we've got the back to the other seat, so pretty much the same thing here, but off to the right here, you'll notice we have our air controls. And it was pretty hot when I got on, but I wouldn't really pay attention to this. I don't think it's gonna get 50 to 90 degrees, but just figure maybe like cooler or hotter. But very warm when I got on the train. I turned that down and it cooled off really quickly in here. So it was initially about 76 degrees and we got it down to 69 degrees in just the past hour. So it's below freezing outside and I'd say this thing works pretty well. You've also got fans here. You get some extra airflow and you can adjust how much air comes out. I didn't even have that one on, so that might cool or warm it up even faster. And there's even more lighting controls for the same thing right there. And there's a room light control as you first walk in right here. And this will switch between the overhead lights and the night light feature. Now, if you're traveling with someone else, this top bunk here will come down at night and that'll make up your top bunk. And then the two seats down here, those will fold all the way flat and that'll make your bed down here. And then you basically just use these as steps to climb up there. Off to the side here, you got a nice little shelf which will hold your backpack just big enough for that. And don't forget to bring a towel. But actually, I'm just kidding. They have towels on board. There's also a hook up here to hang your clothes, and there was a couple of hangers waiting for me. One word of advice from the room attendant is that if you want to put the top bunk down yourself, just watch your fingers, because he said someone got their fingers caught in here. We've also got the standard Amtrak fold-out table here, which is a chess or checkers board. Looks like if you're using the top bunk, you've got this little spot for storage for your phone or glasses or anything else that you might need in the middle of the night. And then we also have a smoke detector and fire alarm, so make sure you're not smoking on the train. So there you have it, the Amtrak Viewliner Roomette, little tour of the room here as we get started on our adventure to Orlando. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've ridden on one of these, I'd love to hear about it, what your experience was like. I'll head over to the dining car now for lunch. When traveling in sleeper accommodations, 3 meals a day are included. I've been eating very healthy lately, so it's definitely time for a cheeseburger. It was a bit well done for my preference, but I really enjoyed it anyway, and I definitely couldn't say no to the chocolate cake. We're about to head into the 8th state of the day for me, which is pretty good considering it's only about 1:30. The next stop is Baltimore, so we've already done quite a bit of the whole Northeast corridor, and I'm looking forward to the rails south of Washington, D.C. because those I've never ridden before. Now, if you happen to watch my Christmas Spectacular last year, I rode the Coast Starlight on the West Coast. So although I'm not going to decorate the room with a Christmas tree and lights and all that, I did bring some window clings, so hopefully we'll bring a little joy to people as they see the train pass by. Well, I don't know about you, but this definitely puts me in the holiday spirit. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Well, I took a little walk down to the cafe car over there and grabbed a nice little bourbon whiskey. I've been really good lately and abstaining, but now that we're on Amtrak, we're going to have a good time and enjoy it. Cheers to another great adventure. Now this is bourbon whiskey, which is 51% corn, so I'm just getting my healthy vegetables for the day. That counts, right? Well, if you gotta get some work done while traveling, this is a really great place to do it. I'm actually working on my free course, Love Those Points, which you can sign up for at lovethosepoints.com. So if you'd like to pre-register, it's gonna be absolutely free with no add-ons, and you can do that over at lovethosepoints.com. And did I mention that I only paid $250 for this whole train ride from Boston to Orlando? More on that later. Well, we made it to our first fresh air stop of the day. We're here in beautiful Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. So the train is actually going to do a locomotive swap. They've got a swap from electric power on the Northeast corridor to a diesel locomotive now. So we're going to be here for about 20 minutes or so while they do that. And that diesel locomotive is going to take the train all the way to Miami. And here it goes. The electric locomotive is about to be replaced by the diesel locomotive. And there she goes. Now, if you haven't been to Union Station or Washington, D.C., it's one of the most beautiful train stations in the country, and I highly recommend you check it out. The Amtrak Acela will actually get you all the way from Boston to Washington, D.C. in about 6 hours and change, so not so bad, a lot faster than driving. And now here comes the diesel locomotive to link up and take us all the way to Florida. Oh, that's awesome. We were treated to a beautiful sunset as we left DC and traveled through Virginia. The top speed on this train is 110 on electric power, but on diesel power, we're limited to 79 miles per hour. But of course, I'm in no rush. All right, time for our second fresh air stop of the day. We're in Richmond, Virginia. It's been a really great, relaxing ride so far. I just really love Amtrak. It's a really relaxing and fun way to travel the country. Amtrak pulls out all the stops for their dinner service with a 3-course meal served on white tablecloths. You can also enjoy one adult beverage complimentary or purchase more if you'd like. I have to say one of the things I enjoy most about the Amtrak long distance experience is having a nice dinner on the train. And the dining car always does an exceptional job, and I went with their famous flat iron steak, and it looks absolutely great. Every time I've had it in the past, it's been cooked perfectly. So also got a couple of bottles of Maker's Mark to make a nice evening. Oh my goodness, look at this lemon cake. Wow, what a spectacular meal that was. 10 out of 10. The steak was just as amazing as I remember. My only regret about this whole thing is that it took me a full year to get back on one of these Amtrak long distance routes because I'm really enjoying it. Super relaxing, great time, so many nice people on board. It's really been awesome. I highly recommend it. So if you're looking to do a trip to Disney World and you don't want to deal with the hustle and bustle of I-95 traffic and you don't want to deal with the craziness of the airports, I think you'll enjoy this experience much better. Now these may not be Tim's, but definitely time to kick off the shoes and get comfortable. Well, today's been a lot of fun, very relaxing, but I'm pretty tired and it's not even that late. Unfortunately, I didn't get much sleep last night. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna try and put this top bunk down myself and see how that goes and sleep up top for a change. I may have fallen off the top bunk when I was young, so probably best if I strap myself in here. True story. Well, there's a wrap on day one. Hopefully get a good night's sleep here and be refreshed and ready to go in Orlando in the morning. Well, good morning from Jacksonville, Florida. I slept through a couple of states. Totally missed South Carolina and Georgia, but that's okay. I had a great night's sleep on the train. Really enjoying this so far. We've only got a few hours to go, so gonna grab a nice breakfast, Hopefully gonna take a shower if that's not too busy, and pretty soon we'll be in Orlando about 10:30, 11 o'clock, so can't wait. Really glad that I got an extra Diet Coke last night.
We're headed all the way to Miami by way of Tampa, stopping just about everywhere in between. Thanks very much. I will see you soon.
Enjoying a shower on the train is a luxury I didn't want to miss, and luckily I didn't have to wait. It's not so bad. Nice and warm. Well, that was really great. Nothing beats a shower on a train, right? That was incredibly refreshing. What I really liked about that shower compared to the other one is you didn't have to keep pressing the button over and over again. It works just like a normal shower. Just be a little patient with the hot water and it'll get there, I promise. I've never had a cold shower on an Amtrak train yet, but I notice every time for the first couple minutes that it does start off with cold water. So anyway, we're gonna do breakfast in about 20 minutes or so, and well on our way. Just really enjoying the last few hours on the train here before we get to Orlando and have a good time at Disney. See you, Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Well, I really enjoyed my breakfast this morning. That omelet was absolutely delicious, like perfectly cooked fluffy eggs. Couldn't ask for more on a train. Just really impressed with the food here. I'd say that's my favorite part of the whole experience, is eating that dining car. It's just been absolutely wonderful and really enjoyed it. I also want to point out a couple other things that I enjoyed. The room temperature controls on here are the best out of any of the trains I've been on. So if you like it a little cooler or a little warmer, you're gonna have no problem getting it to a comfortable temperature for you. Maybe it's just me, but this definitely feels a little bit more spacious than the other roomette I was in. I really enjoyed sleeping up top. It was the best sleep I've ever gotten in a train, which was really great. And I have to say, I wasn't so keen on having a toilet in the room, but I'm kind of thankful I did, and there were none of those awful toilet smells coming from any of my neighbors. Now we've got just about another hour and a half to go, and pretty soon we'll be in Orlando. When I went to breakfast, it was 72 degrees in my room, so I turned it down and cooled it off, and it cooled it down really fast. So it's a little bit dry, at about 27% humidity right now, so I would definitely recommend maybe bringing some moisturizer and some liquid IVs to stay hydrated. I'm a big fan of those. You just add them to your water, and there's a new sugar-free option too. Before leaving the train, I wanted to show the cafe car as well, which is where anyone in the train can hang out and purchase food and beverages regardless of where your seat is. You'll see there's quite a wide assortment of meals and snacks to choose from, but it's definitely not as good as the food you'll find in the dining car. We're just outside of Orlando. Everything was running on time, but we have to stop for some other traffic. Now, if you've been on any long-distance Amtrak routes, you know that this is quite a common theme. However, this one has been really on time. We had a brief stop earlier, and this is the only, I think, the second one that I can remember in the whole trip. So overall, doing a really great job, and it looks like we're gonna get to Orlando pretty close to on time, around 10:30. Finally get some palm trees. Well, unfortunately, this ride is almost coming to an end. Orlando is our next stop. And although it's been a great time, there's still plenty of excitement ahead. Be sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna do something different this year. I'm gonna share a little bit of that Disney Christmas magic. So I hope you enjoy that, and maybe we'll do a monorail instead of a train in the next video. Well, there we have it, Amtrak all the way from Boston to Florida. That was so much fun. Definitely my favorite way to travel to Florida. And here on the Silver Star all the way from New York City. What a great train ride that was. I really enjoyed every moment. But happy to be here in sunny Florida. Gonna have a great time. Be sure to subscribe to check out those Disney Christmas lights. And I hope you'll join me on my next adventure. Peace out.